Let's talk about those movements now. We've got Ridwaan Amulo, who's the CEO of Think Markets, who joins us now to discuss a very boring day on the JSE, Ridwaan, for lack of a better term. Flat ending, not much movement across parts of the indices. I suppose it's got to do with market participants waiting to see what's going to be happening or coming out from the United States, or are there some other major contributors to the non-movement that we saw on the bourse today?
So pretty much what you've just said is exactly correct. Today was actually one of the days where when you're investing, one of the most important rules is we say diversification. So if you had a very good diversified portfolio today, you'd literally be at zero, like the all-share index was. The gainers and losers all equaled out, so the market closed literally 0%. But it is literally, like you said, everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen tonight. It's 8 o'clock, I think, our time, if I'm not mistaken, where the Fed will announce what increase in their interest rate they're going to be giving. From our side and analyst sides that I've spoken to, we're actually all expecting a full 100 basis points, which is a 1% increase. And that's going to be a tough one. But other than that, from the all-share side, I mean, we had the Naspers, British American Tobacco, they were down 3% and 1.8% respectively. But Mondi and Anglo were then up 3.9% and 2% respectively, which pretty much meant we ended up with a very, very flat day.
A flat indeed. Ridwaan, before we get into other issues, I just want to pick your brain on this. So if they increase it by 100 basis points, we're going to see the dollar strengthen because of what it's going to do for the US bond market. What does that mean for the rand in the short term?
So you just announced the fact that, government is saying so long as the rand, the USD ZAR, and obviously the oil price pretty much stays where it is, we shouldn't see any real change in the in the petrol price. Well, today we've already seen a I'm just looking at it right now. It's now actually almost 2% up on Brent. And yeah, depending on that announcement tonight, we could very well see the rand go above 17. It could break that 17 mark. That's going to be a big one.
It's going to be a big one indeed. I mean, we just come out of the 17 rand mark and we might be falling back in. But let's wait for the US Fed and see how we take it forward. Let's start with some company news, Ridwaan. We had British American Tobacco and AVI. Let's start with AVI. They're putting out the update, today saying, that revenue looking much better, pre-pandemic levels that we're seeing. And of course, they are the maker of a lot of the things that we buy in our grocery stores.
Yeah, actually, they're also quite a big seller of footwear. They're in the footwear and personal care business. But AVI pretty much stating, they're coming out with obviously their final annual results. You're looking at headline earnings increasing between 5 to 7%. The thing that caught my eye was actually their footwear business, which they're saying saw an increase of 14%, and personal care revenue up over 17%. So that was quite interesting numbers. The share obviously was up over 2% today. Really good numbers. But the one thing of AVI, which we've always spoken about for many years, is it's one of those what we call defensive stocks. It's not going to just jump around unless we have things like a pandemic, obviously. But it's a good share. It's a very good company, very well-led company. And they're very good on managing when there's issues and these type of things. I mean, they've done very good with hedging and the likes so that they protected the I&J part of their business. So they're really good at that. And it's one of those companies which you can see some good, steady growth coming from them always.
Yeah, good management, a good, solid company, but also, Ridwaan, it means that people will always buy their Baker's biscuits, doesn't it? Anyway, British American Tobacco, Ridwaan, they are really riding this vaping wave quite nicely, seeing significant growth in the sale of their vaping products. What did you make of those numbers that were released in their update today?
So British American Tobacco said their revenue is only going to be up, you're looking at 3.7%. And so they don't call it vaping, they call it their new categories. And new categories, they're looking at up almost 45%, in revenue. It is it is amazing. They've really and truly gone hard into the vaping. That's actually what new categories are. They've gone into this piece, and there's obviously a massive take up on vaping and the likes, and they've actually done very, very well. Fair enough, today the share was a bit down, but that had to do more with the fact, obviously, British American Tobacco isn't just in South Africa. They're obviously bigger in the UK and the likes. So all their dividends and the likes they declare it in pounds or pence, and then converted obviously to rands. So that was more of the reason why it was down today, but really, really good results. And just remember, this is also a company which was literally making zero when we had the pandemic here in South Africa, when you weren't allowed to buy cigarettes.
No, absolutely. I think most people, or smokers anywhere in the country, remember that period very well. Ridwaan Muller, as always, thank you very much for your time this evening. That's Ridwaan Muller, who's giving us a wrap of the markets day. Business is doing well because of consumer support. So AVI food producer, people who are buying their Baker's biscuits, I think the company thanks you. And that's all.